What's happening? This is Soulside Communications with this brother right here, your brother Donell. He's was telling me about his comic book company. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about your product.
Well, again, I'm the founder of Backpack Comics. My name is Donell. This is what we're doing is we're using a character coloring book to promote the characters in the graphic novel, The Space Between. We have a coloring book with stickers in the back. We're using this to promote and to expand our brand. We're working to drop a graphic novel in the next few months. Selling things like this and merchandise like t-shirts and hoodies helps us pay for it.
All right, let me see the stickers again. I thought that was real interesting.
Well, yeah, like I said, we got
And
these
so
real
you
cool.
kind of came up with the design here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let me see that first. Yeah. So what were you trying to accomplish here? With the images.
Well, the images, one of the things that I focus on is minority characters. We want to make sure that we show that minority characters and tell authentic stories from the mind of a minority like myself. African American brother that's, wants to see more representation for kids in this industry. I mean, we are, as a people, we spend 1.6 trillion dollars every year on all the different things. We literally keep economies afloat, and the anime and comic book company is also one of them. I mean, the most successful movie that Marvel had as an individual character was the Black Panther. The only movies that beat it were the Avengers movies, where everybody was in it. So there's definitely a huge market for us, but our representation is small, and I wanted to change that.
Okay. So you named it Backpack?
The name of the company is Backpack Comics.
All right, what made you name it that? I mean, obviously, because you like kids put it in the backpack and take it to school and all that, but...
The thing is because I think that my key market is 10 to 25. But it's, it's one of those things where backpacks have reached the point where everybody's carrying a backpack. You got little kids carrying backpacks, and you got adults carrying backpacks. And honestly, the market that I wanted to target is for those that have that childlike heart forever. You know what I'm saying? You want to enjoy life forever. And comic books are something that are enjoyed by kids and adults.
What was your favorite comic book growing up? What's one or two of your favorite ones?
I'll tell you very honestly, this is a true story. My favorite character growing up was the Silver Surfer.
I know about the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, literally.
I got number 3 and number 4 or something like that.
I liked him so much. I had AP English, and my term paper was on him.
Okay.
My teacher thought I was ridiculous until she read it and gave me an A. Because at the end of it, one, I'm a good writer, and two, it's a great story. There's a lot more to comic books than just the characters and the drawings. I mean, there's a lot of substance and a lot of people that get it. Great storytellers.
Where are you from mostly? Where were you raised mostly?
Gary, Indiana.
Okay. All right. So you down here in the ATL, and is this is your side hustle, or you do this full time, or what kind of profession did you used to be in?
Well, I've worked in entertainment for a good portion of my life, as well as corporate America. And one of the things that when I started this was that initially I was looking for trying to make something go viral, trying to find a way to get the attention. And I realized that I wasn't working as hard for myself as I've worked for other people. And I decided that I needed to work as hard for myself. So being out here and asking people, being more direct with people is my way of saying that I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure this is a success story.
So are you into investing into stocks or anything like that?
I mean, I did crypto, and I mean the basic, when I worked corporate America, I put money aside, so on and so forth. But as far as being focused on it, that isn't my focus and my passion. I got 2 major things that I'm working on. Myself with this comic book, and I have a young daughter who's an aspiring professional tennis player. So my time is spent that, and I'm able to do other things, but sometimes when you really want to make something successful, you got to do what as they say, burn the boats and give it your all, and don't give yourself a way out.
Yeah, you got to have a character that's a tennis player. You already got one of those?
Nah, but actually this particular character right here, the young lady was the first character drawn, is actually my daughter was the model for that.
All right. Now, it was very interesting, like you mentioned tennis. If you draw a connection between tennis, if you take Serena Williams, and if you take the image that permeates and seeps into the consciousness and imagination of our young black girls, right? And she had this plastic surgery and cosmetic surgery and whatnot. Are you familiar with that?
No, I didn't know she
Serena?
did that.
Yeah, it looks all different and whatnot.
Yeah, I know she did that. I guess I haven't been staring at it, but it's kind of sad that she did that. Just like when the rapper Lil Kim totally messed up her face. She was a beautiful young black girl, and she decided she wanted to look like something else. But that's the power of imagery.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying? Here, these beautiful women decide they need to look more like something other than themselves because beauty is being dictated by another group of people. And it's like, and if we don't take ownership of that, I mean, literally, the black woman is the most beautiful woman on the planet. Everybody knows it but us. You follow what I'm saying? Literally, I mean, they're the mother of all people. You know what I'm saying? Every version of people come from the black woman. So it's like, why do you need to look like some other than what you look like? I mean,
So if you think about from the oral tradition of African people, whether you,
griots.
yeah, the griot tradition, all the way up through Aesop's fables and all that. And if you connect it to mythology and folk tales and connect it to fantasy, if you will, right? So how can that area of fantasy and mythology connect with black consciousness or positive self-image, positive self-esteem, positive a healthy identity, you know?
Well,
The realm of fantasy and mythology, and related that to, that's something we don't talk about every day in the black community.
well, for me, like my approach, that's a whole lot.
Right, I know.
That's a
You
big
can handle
question.
it,
That's a big
Brother
question.
Donell.
But from my perspective, what I look at it is like this: that you can use anything to make a political, social, or spiritual statement, anything. But I think that when you're trying to play with people and trying to make it look like you're doing something, you know, just creative, but then you're beating them over the head with a message, as opposed to like if I want a spiritual message, I go to church. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm talking to a minister to get that message. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be slicked. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with political or even socio-economic. You don't want to be slicked into something. Just tell me. You follow what I'm saying? Don't make it seem like you're trying to do something else. So that my approach to storytelling is this. There's representation. Like, say with the characters, I got the different shades of skin here. I got white and Asian and, you know, black and brown and Latino. I got dark and light skin. I even have a woman here who has vitiligo. My goal was representation. You know what I'm saying? Because literally, I'll give you a story, and this happened, and I'll tell it a million times probably till I die. Little girl, mother bought this book for her, and she was flipping through it. She's like 5 or 6 years old. She's just flipping through, and then she just stopped on the page, and eyes lit up like the sun was coming up out of her. And all she said was, "Mommy, she looks just like me." And that little girl was so happy. Like literally, it's like her son, like the sun was coming out of her eyes. She was so happy. And that is the power. It was no story. She didn't read anything. She just saw a picture, and she saw the possibilities for her. It's just like when, you know, you see a runway model, the possibilities. Venus and Serena literally changed the world for young black girls. They're like, wow, we can do that too. Why not us? Look, top of the game. So now all those barriers is like when a person broke 10 seconds. First, nobody can break 10 seconds in 100 meters. And all of a sudden, the day, like literally the week that the guy broke it the first time, I think 6 other people broke it. Because the barrier was broken. Venus and Serena broke barriers. I want to break barriers and help other kids feel that everything is possible. And with my storytelling, I deal with real life issues, but I try to have more of a it ain't a really real fantastical perspective where I'm telling sci-fi, I'm telling great stories, things that they can relate to, things they can learn from. There's lessons in anything I do because that's who I am. But I'm not trying to beat them over here with a message. I'm helping them have fun, and positive imagery and positive message are poured in there because that's just who I am. But yeah, no, I don't slick message. I just tell stories that I think are creative and fun and let the imagination do work. But the one thing I can say, I can't say enough, just by seeing themselves and things like this, they realize there's no limit for themselves. And they start to dream.
Wow, and that was a lot. Man. So how much is this book right here?
Well, we're doing this, we're using this coloring book to raise money. We're charging $15. Like if you were here, you can get one, a signed copy for $15. If you ordered over the internet, you know what I'm saying? I'm not signing every copy, but I want to thank everybody for any support you give us at backpackcomics.com. You know what I'm saying? We're all on all the social media links as well as Backpack Comics. But yeah, we really just my goal is to sell enough copies to make sure that I can finish this graphic novel. It's a very expensive proposition, and literally I'm driven out here to make sure nothing stops me from getting it done.
Now, just to circle back, then we'll start to wrap up. I was thinking about like some of the first things that the white supremacist or the oppressor or the dominant culture did when the Africans were enslaved in America, right? You know, approximately 1619. And what did they do? You know, change religion. It was a cultural attack. The drums being extracted, but also in terms of imagery, that was very strategically done as well. For example, you know, you had the painting of the white Jesus. You had the all the, if you will, the blaxploitation type of images, like the watermelon, people with the watermelons and the bug eyes. It's kind of like that movie. What's that movie? You remember the movie Spike Lee did that had a lot to do with the history of exploitative imagery? I don't know if you remember. You know the one I'm talking about? Yeah, Savion Glover in it, the brother who the tap dancer.
Yeah. What's it called?
Yeah. I know. It just.
I can't think. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
You're gonna have to look it up. Yeah. So I'm just saying that to say, if it was so important to them to do that type of imagery systematically, and I think what you're doing is very important because it just not only reverses that, but takes it to another level in terms of filling that gap and healing us on a level of imagery, if you will, and storytelling.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing when a dictator takes over a country is he makes sure that his image is the prevailing image. He builds big giant statues of himself. He makes sure in every public building his face is there. He requires even people to have pictures of him in his home, so you can literally be looking up to him 24 hours a day. That's how a dictator rules, because you control the imagery. You control the imagery. You control the psyche. You control the psyche. You control the person
and the subconscious.
Subconscious. All you literally are just reinforcing that you are all that matters, and it's the reason, like we talked about earlier, about Serena and again, I didn't know this, but Serena and Lil Kim, I did know, changing their whole features, and a lot of women like that.
Yeah, Sammy Sosa.
Yeah,
skin bleaching all throughout the continent, the black diaspora.
That's because of the constant imagery bombardment of making something look like something else. I mean, even from a historical standpoint, you think about all the like the historical figures that have been changed to make it look like other than what it was. You know, we're talking about like making Beethoven look more white when he was black. You know what I'm saying? You had kings and queens. Like that whole energy of kings and queens was established by the Moors. Now, white culture adopted it all in the same way when they saw how it worked, but they make it seem like they created it. No, I mean literally, you know, from pharaohs to kings and everything, all that started with black culture in Africa. You know what I'm saying? What the Africans made a mistake is they showed them too much. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, they co-opted everything and then rewrote history by being a destroyer of worlds. I mean, black culture had evolved to the point to where they weren't killers anymore. They were the educators. They were the higher thinkers. Like literally, if you name every famous white scholar that everybody's always, when they call this incredible intelligence,
right,
around the the early
Socrates,
years,
Plato,
coming on all that information from Egypt. They all studied in Egypt. They even talked about it themselves.
Okay, we're on that George James. Stolen legacy.
Yeah, they talk. They know where the knowledge comes from. Only people again that don't know is us. Literally the whole world. Like I just looking at some videos the other day where it's showing like the Pope, the sitting Pope right now, sitting there kneeling and praying to a black Jesus. A picture, like they got the video circulating on the internet now. It's like the whole world knew this. Like Putin was really set the fire ablaze and say, listen, hey, y'all don't know who you are. The whole world know, but you don't know. Powers that be know, but you don't know. And so it's like imagery is that important.
All right, brother. And last question here, or close to the last. With your daughter going into tennis, what, as a father, are you instilling in her to have the mindset of a champion? See, I like what you're doing with your books because you're working on the youth and the children, you know? Because not only are you doing the imagery, but you're letting it get into the psyche when they're still young, when they're most impressionable and they're still influenced, and they're forming that identity early,
yes,
which they'll take with them through the rest of their life.
Yes.
So, but I'm just wondering, like, how do you parent? Your philosophy on parenting a soon-to-be champion as a black woman in America, in the Western Hemisphere and beyond, you know?
With my daughter, I mean, like, I don't know if you have any children yourself, but one of the things that we've done our whole life, I grew up in a very rough environment in Gary, Indiana, and the one thing you spend your whole life doing is trying to make sure that they don't experience what you experience. But not really understanding that a lot of that taught you how to deal with all the craziness in this world. And you take so much out of it, you can take so much out of it that you really prevent your kid from being able to learn how to fight for themselves. And I think for me, as a young black woman in this world, and with everything trying to exploit them, you know what I'm saying, especially trying to turn them all into sex objects, you know what I'm saying, and to be, you know, turned into something less than what they are, which is queens. I tell her, you got to learn how to fight for yourself. You got to set your own standards. If you have no standards, then everybody and anybody can set a standard for you, and it could be a way down here standard as opposed to a way up here standard. You know what I'm saying? She has to set her own standard, and then let that be her goal. Not what somebody else wants for her, not how somebody else sees her, but what she's decided matters, what her bar is. And then at that point, nobody can shape you. That's my advice to her.
That's what's up, fam. Any advice you want to give or input to the audience, just in general, beyond what you've already mentioned, as far as some of the maladies we see in the black community in particular? What's some? I mean, obviously entrepreneurship, obviously storytelling, obviously having that, you know, everything you just said with respect to your daughter. And I'm sure that would expand to all the black girls and black children and black people. But anything, because, you know, you look like you got a gentleman of a certain age, right?
Absolutely.
You got some life experience. So anybody watching this video, what things you might encourage them to consider?
The most important thing I can think of based on the question you asked me is this. I'm going to start off with the first point is support is a verb. You know what I'm saying? When you say you're supporting black businesses, when you say you're supporting each other, that's not a conversation, that's an action. And the second thing is literally learn how to work together and trust each other and each other's talents. What the imagery stuff that we were talking about has done significantly is devalue us in our own eyes. When we look at another black person, we don't see the person that could be the most incredible this or that. Not understanding that almost everything that is something was created by a black person. You follow what I'm saying? Yet it's made to seem like we are the ones that are getting the benefit of other people's insight and knowledge. No, everything has been stolen. You know what I'm saying? The patent office was set up to steal ideas originally. You know, black people weren't even able to get patents. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is starting to come out, but the reality is we need to look at each other, and we need to understand that working together is crucial. Not because you don't like any other people, but because you're spending most of your time around each other. Why are you not seeking to work with those people? Why are not you looking at them as the best help you could possibly have? Because you've been trained not to. Retrain your mind.
You said you worked in the music industry as well?
Yeah, I did that when I was really young. That was crazy. That's a whole nother
whole story. That's
animal.
A different interview,
That's
huh?
a whole other animal, man.
Yeah, because the mass media right now is crazy, you know?
The music industry is turned to straight crap.
All right.
I love the art form, but literally they're pumping the most evil things down our throat day to day. I'm not saying there aren't some great artists out there that are probably doing a lot of incredibly positive things.
Right.
But the majority of them are shaking their booty every 5 minutes, walking around half naked, talking about sex, drugs, and death and destruction. There's nothing uplifting coming through the radio 90% of the time.
Right.
And that's programming.
Right.
And those people are responsible for everything they say.
Well, I'm glad you're out here doing your thing to kind of balance that messaging, you know? You want to give your contact information again? If anybody want to reach out to you or IG or...
Well, our website is backpackcomics.com. On IG, Twitter or X, whatever, and also on what is that? TikTok.
Right.
Or just Backpack Comics, one word. Backpack, like you wear a backpack, and COMICS, Backpack Comics.
And you say you're looking for some investors.
Brother, always. I mean, we're trying to build. I mean, again, like I say, people, you got balls and everything like that, doing that got more than enough means to support a lot of small business, even others than myself. And if we would really just literally have a little more faith in each other and work together, I mean, just like we have so many people out here trying to start something significant, and they could use some backers. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having somebody come in and take their company and own it. You know what I'm saying? A backer. And you could benefit and bless.
All right, I want my signed copy now.
All right, brother.
I don't need no change. Let me support is a verb. That's my biggest takeaway.
Support is a verb. Absolutely.
I want my signed copy.
Support is a verb, and I appreciate you for it. And
I appreciate you, fam.
And it's a big thing. It seemed like little $20, whatever, you know, and whatever, but it's a big thing.
All right. Thanks for all your work, and thank you for taking the time to share with the Soulside Communications community, man. All the best. All the best.
All right, God bless, man.
God bless. Peace.